Welcome to LexiCast, a podcast designed to help you grow in your legal practice, with weekly updates on current topics, trends, and practical insights. Perfect for listening on the go. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a topic that might not always be front of mind for busy lawyers, but its absence can be, well, devastating. Effective supervision in legal practice.
Yeah, it's fascinating, really, how fundamentally supervision underpins, well, everything.
Yeah.
From robust risk management and, exceptional client service right through to the very sustainability of a legal practice. Our sources really emphasize it's not just a nice to have.
No, it's not.
It's actually a key tool for effective law management.
Exactly. You might have touched on this in your practice management course way back when, but the reality is it often gets overlooked or maybe misunderstood in the day-to-day grind. So our mission today is to uncover why it matters so much, what it truly entails, and maybe most importantly, what it doesn't entail, especially for you as legal professionals listening in.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, right? Inadequate supervision isn't just about a potential, minor misstep. It's a direct challenge to upholding your professional obligations and managing that firm-wide risk.
Right.
And the consequences, they can be incredibly costly. We're talking financially, reputationally. It's about safeguarding your entire career and your firm's future from blind spots you might not even know exist.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. We're talking direct impacts, like vicarious liability for a principal. So that means your firm can be held liable for an employee's actions even if you weren't directly involved.
Precisely. And then there are the insurance claims. These can skyrocket into literally hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Plus personal costs, orders against practitioners, and even regulatory action. This isn't just a suggestion floating around.
No, it sounds like a serious professional obligation.
It absolutely is. The rules are pretty unambiguous. For example, in Australia, Rule 37 of the Legal Profession Uniform Law clearly states that a solicitor with designated responsibility must exercise reasonable supervision over solicitors and all other employees.
Okay.
And that duty, it's personal, it's non-delegable. So the buck ultimately stops with the principal, not, say, an employed solicitor you've handed a file to.
So what does this all mean then for daily practice? Because I think many lawyers might assume they're supervising effectively just by, having an open door policy or maybe relying on what they call general supervision.
Yeah, that's a common assumption.
But our sources are crystal clear. These approaches are simply not enough. What's the hidden danger there? Why isn't that sufficient?
Well, this raises a really important question. Why not? The open door policy. It's a bit of a trap, actually.
A trap? How so?
Because it assumes competence.
Right.
And it assumes a willingness to ask for help. It completely ignores the hidden dangers of what's called unconscious incompetence.
Where people don't know what they don't know.
Exactly. Staff don't even realize they're out of their depth, which makes them very unlikely to actually walk through that open door and seek help. I mean, take the infamous Mills-Oakley Lawyers v. Huon case. That really taught us that merely leaving, say, a relatively inexperienced senior associate to run complex transactions with only passive supervision just being available well, it can lead to the firm failing to warn clients of material risks. And that means significant losses. Proactive, hands-on engagement is absolutely key.
That's a crucial distinction. So if the open door isn't it, what is reasonable supervision then? Our sources seem to point towards two core elements that really make a difference.
That's right. It really boils down to, first, building trust and confidence, and second, establishing really clear, defined processes.
Okay, let's take trust first. What does that look like in practice?
Building trust involves, well, consistency for one. Genuinely sharing knowledge, not hoarding it, actively consulting others when needed, and always acting with integrity. There's the Victorian Legal Services Commissioner Violi case, which illustrates this quite dramatically.
What happened there?
Well, a principal actually admitted his own lack of oversight and, importantly, the unreasonable pressure he put on a young solicitor directly contributed to that solicitor's professional misconduct.
Wow, okay.
So it highlights that effective supervision isn't just about ticking compliance boxes. It's profoundly about staff well-being. It's about fostering an environment where people feel safe enough to learn, to make mistakes sometimes, and crucially, to grow.
And the second part, those defined processes, that sounds more like the practical tool.
Exactly. This is where you bring it to life.
Yeah.
We're talking about things like documented policies, for identity verification, conflicts checks, maybe pro bono work.
Right, the practical stuff.
Yeah. Using clear checklists for tasks like engagement letters or file management reviews, having really clear position descriptions for every single role, and establishing a robust, accessible complaints process. These aren't just bureaucratic hurdles. They actually structure and reinforce good supervision habits.
This makes sense.
And beyond that, proactive supervision really involves using critical tools like regular file audits. And I don't just mean ticking boxes.
Right.
Think tailored checklists, specifically designed not just to detect issues after the fact, but also to support learning and mitigate risks early on.
Yeah.
And those one-on-one meetings, they're invaluable.
Not just about the work, I guess.
No, exactly. They shouldn't just be about task updates. They need to cover professional development, checking in on an employee's workload, are they drowning, and monitoring their overall well-being. Even broader team meetings complement this, fostering that critical collaboration and shared understanding across the team.
What's also quite surprising, I found, is that this extends to all employees providing legal services. It's not just lawyer to lawyer. We're talking legal assistants, paralegals, even office managers involved in client matters.
Absolutely. And let's not forget remote supervision, which, let's be honest, requires additional time and effort. You have to be much more intentional about maintaining frequent contact and promptly reviewing work when you're not in the same physical space.
That's a good point.
But perhaps the most striking thing, and often overlooked, is the need to supervise principals themselves, or at least have systems for peer review or oversight.
Really? Even senior partners?
Yes. Our sources actually reveal that senior lawyers are statistically more likely to be the subjects of complaints. It really emphasizes that no one, regardless of their experience level, is truly above supervision. There always needs to be some form of accountability.
Which brings us back to records, I suppose. This deep dive really shows that appropriate record keeping for all these supervisory activities is crucial, not just for managing risk day to day, but also for demonstrating compliance if, heaven forbid, your practice is ever audited. You need that paper trail.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, reasonable, appropriate, and proactive supervision isn't just about avoiding claims or ticking boxes on a form.
It's much more than that.
It really is. It's about delivering high-quality legal service consistently. It's about fostering genuine staff development and growth. And ultimately, it's about ensuring the long-term success and, frankly, the resilience of your firm.
So maybe the question to leave everyone with is this. How might you integrate more proactive and supportive supervisory practices into your daily work? Not just to meet those obligations we talked about, but to genuinely empower your team and truly elevate your client outcomes. That's definitely something to chew on as you go about your week.
That's it for today's episode on LexiCast. If you're looking for more in-depth episodes that can also be claimed as CPD activities, check out our LexiCast CPD Plus page linked in this episode's notes. Follow us now to stay up to date, and we'll see you next time.